In today's video, it will be about problems in my garden. I live currently in UK and I'll show you problems I'm experiencing in my garden with particularly plants, let's say. So we're gonna start with newly planted white glove. This is the plant. I have planted it this year and I was obviously keeping an eye on it. It looked the leaves getting brown, something is eating it up basically. So definitely something's eating the roots, so it's deeper problem with this one. I was getting rid of leaves which was they were getting brown. I was watering regularly, I was keeping an eye on it, I was feeding it. Nothing has helped. It's clear that something is eating it up from inside, so I'm gonna be planting this in a pot and hopefully it will get back to life, and then once the plant is stronger I'm just gonna plant it somewhere else. It might be also the case that it has too much sunshine, so more reason to change the location. I can either change the location or plant it in a pot, so I'll have a think about it and you will see in the next video what I'm gonna do and how well it's gonna be doing. This one is my new addition to the garden. Is a decorative grass. It's called Morning Dew. Really beautiful grass. Never had a grass in my garden like this, first time, and it's growing really quickly. So if you want something which gonna, the focal point in your garden, highly recommend it. It's a really good plant to have in your garden. And it's something different, looks lovely during the wind and sunshine. When sunshine penetrating the stems, looks really pretty. So it has been put this year and it's already higher than that one, than my rose. There's two roses in here, just wanted to mention about them. There's another problem I'm having with the plants, with the roses. This is exactly the same rose. As you can see here, this one is much smaller than the one on the right, and they have been planted exactly the same time and exactly the same type of rose. So the one on the right, it has been doing much better, mainly because it has more sunshine. So this one is placed and it's getting probably 2 hours more sunshine than the one on the left, and as you can see in here, it's much better, more flowers. And this one, another problem I'm having is this plant. It's Astantia. There's 2 of them I have in my garden, and I'm thinking, because it has been fed regularly with the best liquid feed, it's doing okay, but not as good as the other one on the other side. The other one on the other side getting more shade. So it looks that this plant likes shade and sunshine, but clearly it's doing much better with a bit shaded area. So definitely more shade is better for this plant. This one is a hydrangea. It's a limelight hydrangea. Hydrangeas love sunshine, I can tell you now, and lots of space. This one, I've got another problem. I need to move it away from the fence, and also when I've got a minute, and also that way we'll be getting more sunshine. This one is exactly the same hydrangeas on the right side, is getting much more flower, just because it's getting that extra hour or 2 of sunshine. Again, definitely a plant which loves sunshine. So all you have to do is just, little maintenance. You just need to get rid of the yellow leaves. Make sure you water regularly, because hydrangeas just love water. So as much water you can give, better for your plant. It will thrive. Doesn't need much special care. So again, I need to move that one away from the fence, because it should have about 80 centimeters from the fence at least. So I have to be digging them out again and moving them around, but that's okay. We got in here jasmine. This one definitely not gonna survive winter, so I'm already prepared that it's gonna die, because this is the wrong type of jasmine I purchased, but that's okay. We got verbena in here, looks really nice. So I planted this one as a background. Hopefully it will grow taller and it will look really good. In here we've got another tree. Those trees are ideal for small gardens. Looking good for now, so I'm gonna keep my eye on it, but it looks good and no problem whatsoever. this part of the garden gets more sun, so ideal for those type of plants. I've got more hydrangeas in here. This one is polar bear, I think. Polar bear hydrangeas, purchased this year. They're doing fine as they can be. I purchased 4 of them. Again, another problem is that I didn't have enough space, so I only fitted 3. So 1 more has been left out. So there's 3 of them. As I said, in here, the problem is if you're having hydrangeas and you want to create a flower bed just from hydrangeas, that at certain time of the year, like in autumn or winter time, they're all gonna be looking brown and dead. That's the problem with hydrangeas I'm having. A lot of people say they don't mind brown hydrangeas in the winter time, they look okay. I personally hate it. Hate it. So my advice is, if you're planning to create flower bed from hydrangeas, maybe mix them with different plants so it doesn't look like all the plants are dead, because that's the look you're gonna get in the autumn time. Another thing is a rose. This one is a climbing rose, and I had it in the front of the house where it had maximum sunshine. Unfortunately, something was eating it constantly and was dying and didn't give me many flowers. It was poorly all the time. I've moved the location because of that problem, and as you can see in here, it's starting to get flowers. It's starting to bounce back, which is what we wanted. So we're just gonna, fingers crossed, it will do well and it will be fine in this new position here. This is sunny position, so should be okay. It's getting the sunshine and nothing is bothering her here. So finger crossed, this will be the best position and permanent one for this rose now. So this is climbing rose. Okay, let's move on. We're gonna move on now to another area of my garden when I'm having in here a border of hydrangeas. There are whites and pink. So those are as well hydrangeas in here. White only different type. Those are completely different. Those are hydrangeas, garden hydrangeas. Garden hydrangeas are different because they don't grow that tall, and another thing with them is that they get burned from the sunshine, especially particular color, the white one. As you can see in here, this is not because I've been watering. You can get hydrangeas burned and they will change and look really bad like this, just from the color, from the watering in the sunshine. You should never be watering your hydrangeas in the full sun, because that will burn the flowers. And another thing is that they just can't get burned anyway from the sun if they're getting too much. So those are hydrangeas are planted in a shaded area rather, because it's only sunshine they get is in the morning and later on it's shaded. Even though it has been watered in the morning before the sun is coming up, they, as you can see here, they are burned. So they're not looking very nice. The pink one doesn't get burned. So if you're planning to get hydrangeas and you really set on gardens hydrangeas, I would definitely not recommend a white ones. Otherwise you will end up with something like this. And yes, very unlikely you can get white hydrangeas looking really good, garden hydrangeas looking good. That's why I would say go for different type of hydrangeas. If you like white one like me, I'm planning to replace them with Annabelle. Annabelle like shaded area and like sunshine, and she doesn't get burned. Those definitely will get burned. So white garden hydrangeas is a big no-no. So don't waste your breath, don't waste your time of even thinking about getting white garden hydrangeas. And definitely don't be putting them in a very sunny position. Those doesn't get much sun and they still get burned. So I have learned my lesson. I'm gonna be replacing them with Annabelle hydrangeas, which is gonna look very beautiful and elegant and much taller than them. So that's the look I'm going for in this part of the garden. So that's another problem I'm working on and definitely gonna be changing. So for now it is what it is. As you can see in here, not a great look, definitely not. If you're planning to get a hydrangeas garden one, go for a pink one. I've got a pink one and they don't get burned, they look good. In here we've got another 2 trees which don't grow too crazy, and I don't want them to grow too tall obviously. They they're doing okay. If your leaves get curled up like this, that means the plant doesn't get enough water. That's another hydrangeas I took cutting. Yes, I took a cuttings from my other hydrangeas and I just planted them then, see how we're gonna do. If we're gonna do fine, it's fine. If not, that's fine. Another problem I had in the garden was this plant in here, rhododendron. So I had it planted in the corner here. It was fine because it was shaded area and rhododendron loves shaded area. The problem is it was not giving space to camellia, which is planted next to it, so I had to move it. Especially another problem area was that in here there was hydrangea, so that hydrangea gonna expand, so that means none of the plant gonna do well, so I had to move it somewhere else. So I had it originally there, that was too much sunshine for rhododendron there, so I had to move it again. Now leftover polar bear hydrangea, that's the spare one that I've got. Unfortunately, I have ended up with one spare until we're gonna move that trampoline from there, because we have to move a trampoline, but probably end of the season because kids are still using it. It's doing well because it does have lots of sunshine and it's got that support for the flowers, especially in the first year. It needs support before the plant itself gonna get established, so that's important with the hydrangeas. We've got some flowers in here in containers. I will be getting rid of them next year. I don't want them in the containers because I think they look really cheap. So that's another thing I will be getting rid of in here to improve, and I think that will improve the look of the garden. They're doing really well. They do remind me of Italy, because when we go on holidays to Italy, they always got this type of flowers. They look really pretty. I've got some in the baskets and they're doing really well. I'm planning to repaint whole garden, so I will be repainting everything from the shed all around the borders to different color.